Program is still this morning on ITV, bringing us to our first discussion segment here. As usual, every Monday we look at the aviation with an aviation freak, a man who also doubles as a licensed estate surveyor and valuer. He's not an aviator, but he's a freak when it comes to the issue of aviation, and that alone has taken him to so many countries, Asia, Europe and America, all because of aviation programs and events. I have with me Mr. Godwin Ike in the studio.
Hi.
Very good morning to you.
Morning, Joe. How was your weekend?
Well, thank God.
Right.
Nice time, I must say.
Oh, thanks very much. Thank you very much. And my dear viewers, welcome to the program.
Yeah, today's episode of the program is a special one. It's not the usual teaching, but a bit of analysis, a bit of assessment of what we have currently in Nnamdi Azikiwe Airport, Abuja. Promise made by the Ministry of Aviation, particularly the Minister of Aviation, Mr. Hadis Chirika, that the Abuja Airport will be closed for 6 weeks, and after that it will be reopened. A promise made, a promise fulfilled. And to an aviation freak, how do you feel about that?
Joe, I must say that I am thrilled for one reason. For once in the history of this nation, we have a public officer, an appointee of government, showing so much sense of responsibility, sense of honor, and what's more, putting his job on the line. Joe, I must tell you, I was waiting for that fateful day to come and pass with the usual stories we normally will hear in this nation and usual excuses that we will normally have public officers give for not achieving their goals. Joe, I was actually waiting to invite you and a couple of other freaks of aviation and walk straight to the Minister of State office and say to him, Captain or Honorable Minister, the deadline is come and gone. You told us in clear language that if you didn't keep that date, you would resign. I am surprised you haven't thrown in the towel. But we're here to ask you to please kindly just get up from that seat, leave this office now. This is new Nigeria. I was getting ready for that action. We would walk in there, except if his security men refuse us entry. But if we gain access, we would have asked him to just leave the office. But here we are. The man put his job online because he was dead serious and he had a sense of responsibility, and he knew he had to deliver. If government appointees in this country were to think and behave like Honorable Minister Sirika has done, honestly, I keep telling people, it takes little or nothing to turn around this nation and get things going the way they should. So here is saying, Honorable Minister, congratulations. I didn't believe in that program. I criticized that program, and I still have my reservations on the economic side of the decision to go the way we did, but haven't kept faith with the date you set and the courage with which you said to the world, not just Nigeria. He said to the world, if I do not open this airport on the set date, I would resign. You remember the last time we were talking, Joe?
And I asked you to comment on that. You said no, you will not. Since he has said that honorably, let's give him the benefit of that.
That's correct. I mean, a couple of my viewers who commented and who called me on phone said, Godi, what has the minister given to you that led you into so defending him? But you see, we must attach value to honor. I always say the cheapest way the easiest way is the way of honor. And as soon as somebody is honorable enough to put his job on the line, to say, if I do not deliver, I will resign. He said it all. That individual has said it all. And so, as far as I was concerned, he said it all and there was nothing to add. And I was waiting. Two things. Either he kept faith with the date or he failed, and whichever way, we're going to react accordingly. Okay. But thank God he
kept his promise.
He kept his promise, and once again, Honorable Minister, congratulations.
Yes. Now, if you look at what happened within that 6 weeks, definitely we really had some losses. And if you are to quantify that, how much will it be?
Joe, remember I made a comment a moment ago. I didn't believe in the way that program went. I criticized it. I still have my reservations on the economic side of it. Well and fine, we have a brand new runway with new instrument landing equipment and the rest of them, and of course the internal part of the airport is also being beefed up and looking as good as should. Thank God for that. But Joe, if I were a decision maker at the time that decision was made, I would not close down that airport. Now currently, I am shocked and surprised that MBS, that is the Nigerian Bureau of Statistics, has not told this country, not told the world, what the GDP of this nation was at the time that that program took off. And then we should have had the current figure of our GDP. The losses that this country made at the moment can only be speculated, but MBS must do well to tell Nigerians of a fact, the truth about what happened to our gross domestic product. Closing down Abuja airport for the purpose of the repairs we did, as far as I'm concerned, was a waste. That program should have been planned better. As a matter of fact, if for any reason government wanted to upgrade Kaduna Airport, Kaduna has a right to have its airport upgraded without any prejudice. Do you get my point? Kaduna, as a state that owns airport within the state, has a right as part and parcel of this nation to have its airport upgraded. And so that could have been done without any prejudice. Government should have come up with a program. We want to upgrade Kaduna Airport and make it as an alternative airport just in case flights have difficulty landing in Abuja. They can go to Kaduna Airport and all that stuff. Good reasons. Upgrade the airport without any prejudice. But to close down Abuja and then spend so much money to quickly, in a hurry, upgrade Kaduna and then spend even much more ferrying people through and through, Kaduna. With I thank God very much that the risk that we took, that government agencies, security agencies did a wonderful job, that we didn't get an embarrassment. I was personally worried about some embarrassing incident taking place on that road. Very honestly, Joe, I was very, very, very worried.
You were scared of kidnappers?
Yes, I was worried. But thank God it went well. And once again, I say congratulations to all the security agencies that ensured that no ugly incident took place. I congratulate them, all of them. I say to them, keep up the good job. Building a nation is not an easy one. You need critics like us to be on your toes and get the job done. So we will always be here.
Now, let's also look at an aspect that worries some Nigerians, which is the first airline that touched the brand new runway was an Ethiopian airline. And the airline was equally a brand new one. A brand new airline touching a brand new runway. Does it, in a way, signal anything to you?
Of course, Joe, the, excuse me, the message I get from it is there's no gainsaying the fact that we don't have a national airline at the moment. Joe, without any pretenses, yes, also no gainsaying the fact that we really do not have one successful airline in the country. That's a big shame and quite painful. Ethiopia, like you well know, is an African nation. It's done well, just as you know, Kenyan Airways is also doing very well. The sad thing about the situation is these two countries are nowhere near Nigeria in strength and size. And yet, they are doing so well in the aviation sector. Well,
if you can pause it there, if you can pause it here, just pause it there, we also need to look at why, well, we have those firefighting equipment, pouring water. Of course, just pause it there. Keep it there. Okay, go on.
Right. Well, we're going to discuss that. Right. So, like I was saying, you would remember that Ethiopian Airline cooperated with government very closely, supported the program that was going on in Kaduna. All the other foreign airlines dissociated themselves from the program and said that they didn't have enough logistics to participate in ferrying people to Kaduna, airport. Ethiopian Airline accepted to do the job, and of course they did it nicely, ferrying people from abroad to Kaduna. And once again, I say, security agencies did a wonderful job, great job, and made sure that we didn't have any embarrassing incident concerning security issues. So it makes sense, and I would say it made sense that government chose that very successful airline to take the glory
to launch
of being the ones that will launch the new runway. I think it makes sense. I don't envy them on that. I don't begrudge them on the choice. The government had reason to make that choice. They gave all the support, and the only one, for that matter, that gave support and kept faith with the support. And so, the aspect that we need to look at is why we can't have...
Of course, that's my next question.
Yeah.
What will it take this great country to have a national carrier once again?
Aviation is about discipline. No reckless and indisciplined individual or nation can run aviation sector successfully. It's about discipline. Everything in aviation, from the excuse me, from the slightest to the highest point of it, it's about serious-mindedness.
Don't we have serious-minded people in this country?
Joe,
don't we have disciplined people in this country?
Joe, we started derailing when some individuals ran down Nigeria Airways, and not one person was held accountable. Nigeria Airways used to be the best airline in the whole of Africa. Nigerian Airways pilots were adjudged the best pilots in the world.
Really?
In the world. True. Nigeria Airways pilots. The records they had, no one in the world surpassed their records of safety. Yeah, that was what we had in Nigeria Airways. And then some ugly mean-hearted handful of individuals ran down and destroyed the airline, and the government of the day at the time didn't hold anyone accountable. And what was the message? You sent out the message out there that there was a culture of impunity, a culture of unseriousness, a culture of get your own and walk away, and then it grew and developed wings. So each time you had an airline come, you had people who saw it as a way to take their own national cake and walk away because nothing would happen. And up until this day, can you point a finger at one individual that has been held accountable for all the mess? Joe,
is it late to open the books?
It's not late. Crime has no time bar. I mean, lawyers will tell you that. I met two lawyers out there as I was walking in. I'm sure they are watching this program. If you want to ask them when we step out of the studio, criminal offenses have no time bar. Anytime you can open up the books and hold somebody accountable and send a strong signal that this nonsensical humbug cannot be sustained and cannot be continued. Joe, there is no country that has no crook or crooks in their midst. The reason you have some shielding in some nations is the fact that if you're caught, you must be punished. And so those who engage in criminal activities do them as carefully as they can. But here, it's carried out with extreme impunity because the likelihood is that nothing will happen. And that's why...
And before now, nothing happens.
And that's why our aviation sector is in such a mess. But I tell you what,
no, but if we are to revive that national carrier, do you think the person of Hadi Sirika, the Minister of State Aviation, can handle that?
I would say yes. I see a sense of discipline in his, person. I told you the last time we were here that the day he looked the world in the eyes, looked Nigeria and Nigerians in the eyes and say, I would resign if I fail you on this project. Personally, I was totally disarmed. And I decided that if a man will put his job on the line, he must be serious. So I began to defend him, just like I did, when you took me on,
yes,
concerning him. And I said, this man has put his job on the line, so give him the benefit of doubt. And he did it 2 days before the expiry date. So he has sent a signal that he is serious-minded. He can be focused. Because part of the problem we have in most appointees is that people lack focus, lack serious-mindedness, and run as if it's business as usual. Nothing will happen. I go there, loot as much as I can and walk away. As soon as the message goes out that it's not business as usual, a lot of people will sit up and a lot of people will get serious. So answering your question more directly, I think I'm beginning to trust Sirika. I am beginning to trust him. Yeah, he should be trusted to organize and give us a national airline. And then we will get people together, put them through some more training, especially training that's got to do with their mentality. Wash off all those
indisciplined attitude.
Yes, and all those ugly mentality. Wash them all off their brains and say, listen, if we must build this nation, we must be serious, we must be seen to be serious, and we must be focused. It's the only way. There's no magic about all this. There's no magic. It's all about doing what is right and doing it right. That's all. And you see things happening. Joe, that is all it requires.
Okay, let's hope he will take that advice and begin to work towards ensuring that we have national carriers once again. And the course of last week, we also saw something very, very, you know, how will I even put it now? Unbelievable.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Dana, you know, had a return flight. You know, I know that when you heard that, the issue of the aborted Dana flight came to your mind.
Yes, I will never get over that. How would I ever get over the issue of the 14th of July 2010 flight abortion that I caused, because I knew they were putting lives at risk as a freak of aviation and as an individual that would spot, you know, the sore points in operation of airplanes. I knew something dangerous was going on. My fellow passengers didn't even know, including a serving, you know, Honorable Minister of Foreign Affairs at the time. He was sitting on that flight, and his own life was also at risk. And nobody, amongst all the passengers, but this aviation freak here knew that something really very silly and unacceptable was going on. And then, of course, I raised alarm and I asked passengers to get the hell out of the aircraft. Said, oh, come on, if you love your life, get out of this aircraft. It's not airworthy. You know, they're just fooling around. They shouldn't be taking this airplane into the air. And I remember, Joe, the very next day, 15th of July, 2010, a manager of that company saw me at the airport early morning coming to do the flight I was supposed to do the previous night. And he said to me, Oga, thank you, sir, for what you did last night. We've been telling our bosses that someday, one day, somebody would notice this and raise alarm. And that was exactly what happened last night. And thank you very much. Maybe this will make them do something. A staff of Dana said that to me the very next morning. Now, coming back to that. In spite of my asking them to do something about that airplane and get the technical difficulties or challenges they had at the time sorted out in order to save lives, they went on business as usual, not really taking out the problem until 3rd of June of 2012. Now,
2 years after.
2 years after. When that plane took off, I've read the report of the AIB, the Accident Investigation Bureau. Of course, you know, their investigations usually without, you know, holding anyone accountable. The whole idea is find out why it happened and then make recommendations and ensure that sort of thing doesn't ever happen again. That is the whole essence of AIB investigations all over the world, by the way. It's not just about Nigeria. But then, I remember in reading, during my reading of that investigation report, it was found out that 14 minutes into that flight, that pilot, the captain, knew something was wrong. He had placed his power stick in a particular position and asked his first officer to give him the reading on the panel. And when the man did, there was a mismatch showing that the engine output was not corresponding to the position of the throttle stick. And the man said, in a way of saying, oh my God, we have a problem here. A simple solution for a serious-minded pilot, a professional pilot, would have been place a call to the control tower where you just left. Announce that you had a technical fault, that you needed permission to quickly come, you know, for straight landing. And those professionals in the control tower would simply put the other airplanes that have been, you know, programmed for landing on a holding pattern. Ask them to just keep it 360, running around the circle, while they let a technically 40 aircraft come straight in and land. That man would have just made a 180 degrees, which is a U-turn, and go all the way back to Abuja. In another 15 minutes, he would have touched down safely and nicely. But what did he do? Oh boy, in the usual Nigerian parlance, oh boy, make we go there. You go take us there. Got there. Well, let's manage. Let's go. And remember, I have to really be in Lagos today because my flight to US is tonight. If I miss this opportunity, I don't know if I'm going to be able to catch that flight. So it's fine. It's fine. The engines are still blasting away. Let's just go.
It won't fall off the skies.
It won't fall off the skies.
It happens.
Extremely very silly risk. So let's bring it to the air return that that is professionalism in its highest point in aviation. Number one thing in aviation is security, safety. Number one thing, safety. Everything in aviation, safety. If you suspect the slightest thing, ground a flight. You can't toy with lives. And I say to you, airplanes are very faithful machines. Unfortunately, human operators can be very unfaithful and dishonest. And that's why they fall off the skies. And so, I want to congratulate that Dana pilot that made an air return when he had a bed strike. A bed strike would definitely destroy your engine. Remember, those are jet engines with their fans at the speed the airplane is moving, and of course the suction, pressure that will suck in a bed that is crossing, the path of the flight, would definitely destroy all those blades, and maybe cut some hoses and little things that
what's the best way of preventing
around the airport and some kilometers away from, there are installations. I am surprised they don't have them in Lagos. I hope we have them here in Abuja. There are installations that are put out there to scare birds away, so that planes that are taking off and landing won't have birds crossing their paths. So for these birds to still be milling around the airport there means that it's either those installations are not working or that they are not even there at all.
That calls for investigation.
Yeah, it calls for investigation. We're going to find out why we have birds, around the airport. They shouldn't be there. There are installations, electronic installations that are put there that scares them away, and then they keep far, and they are installed in such a way that even a few kilometers radius around the airport to enable airplanes fly above the height that birds would normally be. So you have those installations in place. And they will scare these birds away, and then you scarcely will have bird strikes. How many times have you heard about bird strike in JFK? How many times have you heard about bird strike in Dubai airport, for instance? How many times have you heard about bird strike in Heathrow airport in London? We've got to be serious. Do what it's needed to be done. Joe, we've got to be serious.
Well, I think the minister definitely should take a cue from what you're saying. Let's be sure and see how we can have this instrument installed in our various airports so that we don't have, flight returns, what comes with that.
Once again, congratulations to that pilot. It was a beautiful decision. I mean, he had no business taking any risk continuing with that flight when he had that bad strike. Some reckless pilots like the one that slaughtered 153 people would have said I could do with one engine and stuff like that, and then earn some money for my airline, and then when we get to Abuja or wherever they were heading,
from Lagos to Port Harcourt.
When we get to Port Harcourt, we'll try and see what's gone wrong and fix it. Those kind of reckless decisions, you don't make them in aviation. There's no room for that. Absolutely no room. So the pilot acted professionally, and I congratulate him. And that's the way to go.
Okay, before we go in a minute, how would you advise the current minister on issues of this nature and others that we don't know?
Honorable Minister, sir, if you're listening to me, You've had it all. I congratulate you once again for keeping faith with your date. It shows that you can be trusted. It shows that you're a serious-minded man, and Nigerians should be able to look forward to better aviation sector with you. Right now, our airports are shadows of what they should be, in spite of what we've done in Abuja. Let's begin to have the right instrument landing systems, create new airports with category 3 instrument landing systems, so that we stop this idea of any little Hamatan haze with ground aircraft when we should be able to to continue to fly with the right instruments in place. Call for more budgeting, more money for the aviation sector, because aviation sector is a key sector for the economic growth of this nation. And so I urge you to go on with a good job, but be sure we will always criticize you when we think you are taking the wrong decision. And don't take it personally. We're here to build Nigeria. And once again, congratulations.
Okay, I must thank you for coming on the show this morning. This is where we wrap up the discussion for this segment, the aviation. It has been with an aviation freak and a licensed estate surveyor and valuer. One want to ask, what is someone who is in that field doing in aviation? That's why he calls himself a freak. He knows quite a lot, especially, well, one even says maybe he's one of those runaway pilots, but he's not. Okay, this is where we wrap it. Next week it shall be another time, but cockpit will be a discussion.
Part two. Yeah.
Okay, that is where we call it a day. Thanks for coming.
Oh, thanks. Thank you.
We'll take a quick break. When we return, the program this morning on ITV continues, of course, with very brilliant lawyers already seated in the studio to take us through the next segment.